Once there was a preacher by the name of Ted Haggard who stumbled from the path, or you might even say staggered. He was 1 in a million, or more aptly 1 in 10. Some folks say he put the men in men. He preached the gospel message of intolerance.
Yeah.
How you doing, Pete?
All right. How are you?
Oh, not bad.
I had a little input on what you were talking about earlier about what scientific proof do the Christians have that there's a God.
Right.
Well, if you look outside, you can see all the proof. The air you breathe, your body is made so complex. I mean, how can it just poof one day and just everybody just was created, or whatever you say?
It didn't.
That's
it didn't
what
just
the Christians
poof.
say.
I mean,
Christians,
evolution. What you believe?
Christians are the one who think poof one day.
Well, I mean, the world just didn't. I mean, you're saying that the world was been here forever. I mean, where did it come from?
What do you mean by the world? You talking about planet
The
Earth?
universe.
Oh, the universe?
Yes.
There's no reason to think that the universe hasn't always existed in some form. As a matter of fact, that's what's dictated by the laws of physics.
Okay, well, like the air you breathe, everything that exists in the world. I mean, it's just, to me, doesn't seem like it would come from evolution, from man. You know,
Air doesn't come from evolution.
No, it doesn't come from evolution. But I'm talking about I don't see that it just. I mean, there had to be something that caused it to exist.
Why?
Because it's here. I mean, it just didn't.
Why can't it have been? Why does it require cause?
Okay, look at your body. I mean, look how complex your body is. The cells, your DNA.
Right. So nature is complex.
I just did not see that coming from evolution.
Why can't you?
Well, I don't understand why that's so difficult. I mean, or beginning with the simplest beginnings, and amino acids and proteins that come together. And anytime you have any kind of self-replicating module, and with the opportunity for changes are going to occur. And small changes built up over billions of years certainly can produce something that's complex.
So if that's the case, then where did the first human, like the caveman, I mean, way back then, from evolution, where did he come from? Did he crawl out of the sea? Is that what it was?
Are you talking about abiogenesis now, like the production of life?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a different field.
That's something completely different from
yeah.
evolution. Evolution only deals with life after it starts.
Right, okay.
But abiogenesis is the subject that deals with the creation of life from non-life. Do we know how it happened? No.
Okay, well, that's what I meant. Where's the scientific proof of that? I mean, it leads to evolution, so where does that prove?
Hang on.
Okay.
Do we know how it happened? No.
No.
Do we know how it can happen? Absolutely.
Theory.
No. This has been demonstrated scientifically in experiments. The Miller-Urey experiments demonstrated that life from non-life is possible under purely natural conditions without any supernatural intervention.
But there's no scientific proof of that.
No, that is the scientific proof. That's what I'm saying. The Miller-Urey experiments demonstrated that by taking non-living material and putting it in an atmosphere and inducing it with energy, life can be produced from non-life. It doesn't say that that's exactly how it happened. It may have happened slightly differently here on Earth. It may have happened differently in other places around the galaxy. But we know to the highest degree of certainty that life from non-life is absolutely possible under the right conditions, purely natural conditions.
So where would everything else before life come from? I mean, is there something I could look up? So what you're talking about there, is there a website or anything I could look?
Yeah, Talk Origins.
TalkOrigins.net, or is it
org? I think it's an org.
TalkOrigins.org has a lot of information on this.
Mm-hmm.
But basically what happens is you come down to two possibilities. You either have the possibility of a theory that aligns with everything that we know about physics, or you have the possibility of a concept that doesn't align with anything we know about physics. So you have this idea that matter can't be created or destroyed, and you either can choose that something created matter or that matter has not been created. And what we know about matter is that it's not created. So you have to pick something that conflicts with what you can observe or something that coincides with what you can observe. And you seem to be saying that you'd rather go with something that conflicts with what you observe.
Right. And it just seems like you're not sure when you say possibilities.
Well, of course we're not sure.
Right, but the thing is, theism doesn't offer anything sure either. Theism is simply an unsupported assertion.
I mean, if you're in a position where you have this puzzle that you're trying to solve, and you're not sure what the answer is, why is it okay to say this is too complex for us to figure out, therefore God did it?
Right.
Why is that okay?
Well, it's not okay, but I mean, it's just like, I think they're both sides of the non-belief, and you're atheist. I mean, there's, like we were saying earlier, yes, where are the miracles now? And, they were all back then, and they're not there anymore. I've asked myself that too, but...
Well, you're saying that there's two sides to this, that either the universe always existed or God did it. And I'm saying you're correct. Those are two options. What makes you think they're even remotely equal? What makes you think that one is more likely than the other? Because one is based on things that we know and can perceive. We know that the material world exists. The other one is in an attempt to explain how the world exists, creates out of thin air this notion of something transcendent that created us, when we have no examples of anything transcendent. We have no examples of anything supernatural. I don't understand. I mean, I realize that it can be frustrating to say, oh, we don't know what the answer is. But that doesn't mean it's okay to make one up.
Right. But I would just also that, it just, to me, it seems like our bodies are so complex, and, our cells and our DNA and all that we have in our body, it just, like it does. Your body heals. I mean, to me, that when you cut yourself, your body heals, and that to me seems like, I mean, I'm not saying it's a miracle, but it just seems like if your body was made to heal like that it had to be done by something in some way besides.
Yeah, you know what it was? You know what it was?
What?
Those bodies that weren't able to heal themselves, they died off and didn't reproduce.
Right. Okay.
It's pretty much that simple.
Yeah, because I kind of like, I'm like in the middle. I'm just kind of, I think this way, and I say, well, where's the proof of this and that? And then I think about what y'all are saying, and I say, well, you're not really 100% sure either,
I don't think, I dismiss the idea of absolute certainty out of hand. I don't think absolute certainty is useful in any sense, and I don't think we live our lives based on anything remotely like absolute certainty. We believe things to degrees of certainty, and some of them are incredibly high. What we deal with is degrees of certainties, and that's when we go about trying to evaluate which explanations are most likely, most probable, have the most explanatory power, and are most consistent with reality as we observe it. So to say, hey, our bodies are really complex, and that's really, I don't know how the heck we can explain it. That's understandable. I mean, I think that's how we got to where we are now in evolutionary theory, is people looked around and said, holy cow, look at this wild diversity of life. How could this possibly have happened? And then people went and came up with hypotheses that have tested out and consistently been proven with evidence. I mean, archaeological evidence, DNA evidence. I mean, Francis Collins, the head of the Human Genome Project, and an evangelical Christian, has said that even if there were no fossils, the evidence from DNA alone is enough to confirm shared ancestry.
All right. Okay, well, I'm going to have to go because my baby's getting up to what I created.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can create life.
Yeah. You ask, well, where do we come from? Well, we come from our parents, and you're proof of that. And they came from their parents, and so on, and so on.